through my own journey and experience, its tricks and trends, how to convert your dream into business. I hope my story and advice will help and support women worldwide who dreams, aspires, and dares to build their own brand to grow in their business and personal life. I am Ritwika Chaudhuri, founder and director of the Palette Art Training and Consultancy, a Dubai-based art school and a consultancy firm. It is a 5-year-old company specializing in hobby and professional art classes from the age group of 8 years old to any age level. You can learn here all sorts of art, starting with sketching, acrylic, oil painting, watercolor technique, mixed media, clay sculpture, silk painting, resin art, to name a few. We are also into art consultancy, like curating exhibitions, doing commissions, and selling art online. Now, I would like to share my experience with you all and to give few tips from my own personal experience how to start any business with the example of my own company, the Palette Art Training and Consultancy. Now, to begin with, I will start with a famous line from a philosopher and teacher from India, which inspired me day in and day out before starting business. It is from Swami Vivekananda. Take up an idea. Make that one idea your life. Think of it. Dream of it. Live on that idea. Let the brain, the muscle, the nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave any other idea behind. This is the way to success. So basically, any idea you have to give your life to it, and that's what I did for last 5 years. Having said that, there is some practical tips to it as well. Write down your own idea, what you have in mind, everything in details. Is it a product or a service that you would like to offer? That is the first step. Now, secondly, you must understand whether there is a niche of the business you are about to start. Think about the demand and supply gap. If there is a demand, there is a chance. Ask yourself, why are you planning to start the business? Do you have the necessary expertise or something new that you are starting? In this context, it is important to clearly understand the purpose too. Whether you have the necessary expertise, the knowledge to do the business, or would you like to invest in a business which you can dream of, but you have to hire talent from outside? It is always advantageous, which I feel, that you should start something of your own where you have the domain knowledge in the field and you are an expert. Now, the fourth important thing is, what should be the type of business? Whether it should be a homegrown business, or a brick and mortar setup, or an online proposition, or an e-commerce. What exactly you have in mind? Because once you know that this is how the business will be and this will be the basic model, it will be easier for you to build on that line. Now, the fifth important point is, how much money would you like to invest? What is the amount of your seed capital? It is an extremely important proposition to start any business. Your scale depends on that. Make your own venture so that the money that you're investing into it should not strain your life and family financially to begin with. Also, while starting a business, I would advise that start with your own money, however little it is. It should be sufficient to start your business, but it might be a good idea not to borrow from outside so that it reduces exposure to externalities and avoid burden of debt. Now, I believe one thing, that there is no particular or proven mechanism in business. The SMEs and the first time entrepreneurs always have to go through the trial and error method. You may start small with experiments and then set up proper establishments, or you may plunge into proper business setup. Important thing is whatever you do, it should be at your comfort level. So for the finance for your business is concerned, the thumb rule is you need to have capital enough to sustain for a year, or at least as your business needs the full support like a child before it stands up and fend for itself. The next step, of course, that's the last the steps that I'm talking about are quite crucial before you plunge into your business. So the next step would be to do a basic desk research on your idea. If the idea is not original, you need to think about who are your competitors, who are the players in the field, what are they offering, what is their price point, who are their target audience, what are their marketing channels. Basically, the thumb rule is you should know your competitors very well, and to a certain extent, try to understand their strategy. The ninth point. So, if you are competing with existing players in the market, know your audience. Who are you targeting? Who you exactly are targeting specially? How are you different from your competitors? And what is your USP? That is your unique selling proposition, because you are already entering into a market where there are a lot of people around. So you need to know exactly how you can differentiate your services, your brand, your product from the others in the market. And the last step should be that you should know and understand the legalities of the country, the licensing procedure, how to apply, who are the organizations, whether you want to source this from any experts in the field who are into company formation, how much time does it take from application of the license to get your license, because this will help you prepare what is the next forward, and in the process to build up the other things like the marketing channel, like the like your looking for your space and all other things. Now, having said that, even if you follow this process, does it mean that it will lead to success all the time? Not necessarily. There are still some points which you need to understand, which all startup companies or all new business entrepreneurs need to know. That I would like to share from my point of view, that what worked for me and what are the pitfalls for which the startups should avoid. Just to give you a background of how I started a business, which will help you to understand that what worked for me and what are the pitfalls. Now, art is definitely not a profession I started with life. I'm a business journalist and I work as business journalist for 18 years. But after staying in Dubai for some time, uh, I realized that there is a gap of learning places for serious arts, and art was always my passion. So I was just thinking while I was doing my business management, that do I need to go back to work, or can I start something of my own? It was always a dream to me to start something of my own, to leave a legacy, to create an institution. So I thought, why not start with art, which is a passion for me? And of course, there is a gap that there is no place where you can learn art seriously. And that's how the whole idea of Palette came into being, that along with providing people who wanted to learn art as a hobby, this will be a place for serious learners where people can learn art in a professional level, and also like the children who are leaving school, wherever they want to get admitted for art, business, graphic arts, to help develop their portfolios. So my art school basically thought of having a very serious approach to art learning. What worked for me? Let me share that with you. It's my patience, the perseverance, and the power to sustain to begin with. And also sincerity to the purpose. Extremely good and experienced teachers who are experts in their own field, knows what sort of course will be good for everybody and what are the course that is demand, and the assurance of certification, which is the key for any training institution. I guess for me, a personal touch with the services, trying to understand the client's need, a relaxed and cordial atmosphere where people learn and at the same time enjoy the creative atmosphere helped a lot in spreading the words. Another thing which worked for me is the flexibility of services. While we have a structured course for everything, we do also believe that there are people who are not comfortable with structured course. So for them, we have introduced a flexible structure where we try to understand their need and cater to them. So it's almost like a tailor-made art program depending on people's choice. This has helped me quite a lot because this flexibility brings a lot of new people. And to a large extent, the passion with which I'm driving my business and the way I feel about my services, the brand, the product, this is followed by the dedication and, of course, the 5 long years to sustain through ups and downs. Having said that, was the journey smooth enough? Was it always okay? No, it is not. It cannot be. That when you start a business, there will always be quite a bit of challenges, and I too felt a lot of ups and downs and pitfalls throughout the journey. So let me just give you a little piece of caution about the pitfalls that you may face in the process. Legalities of the country is something extremely important. What is allowed and not, given your license in time. Be extremely conservative with your expenses, as all startups have limited budget and there is no harm in thinking twice before spending on different expense head unless they are absolutely necessary. Remember, cash at hand is always advantageous. It's utmost important to avoid frictions with clients and suppliers, as you need all the goodwill and the support for smooth running of your business since you are starting a new journey. Start small but solid. It's always advisable that you start with a small scale which is manageable by you, and depending on the response and the experience you have, once you start and once the ball starts rolling, you can always gradually expand the scale and the opportunities. Choose a good SME friendly banks, as you have to deal with them day in and day out. And quite a number of banks comes with SME friendly special packages or packages for casual business owners and women business owners. So it is always helpful that if you try to find out which is the best bank for you, and eventually also for future if you have to take loans, to build up relationship with them. And please keep your accounts clean and to the point. Maintain your own Excel sheet. I hope these pieces of advice, how to start a business, what has worked for me, and pitfalls, maybe help you to start your own business. Now, since I'm an art business, I am into an art business, let me conclude with a favorite line from Vincent van Gogh. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? And that's what was the guiding principle throughout these 5 years, that you need to attempt something if you really feel for it. With this note, best wishes to all. Start a new journey. Today is your day. Oh, yes, there's good news for you. Before I switch off, do not forget to leave your comments. Whether you find these tips are helpful, 2 lucky winners will get a chance to have a 2 hours face-to-face art session with us in our studio at Al Barsha, Dubai. Goodbye and good luck to you all, ladies.